to another edition of Bizzy MC TV. Tonight's episode, we're going to talk about the historical use of black men building other civilizations. Can you handle it? We always building up other civilizations. We can even tell it in America with our money. We spin at the Chinese restaurant. We send our motherfucking women to get them nails done. We eat at all they motherfucking pizza shops, nigga. You know grandma be taking y'all to the Chinese buffet, nigga. Spending like $88 a family, nigga. $100 a family, nigga. And they show us no love in our communities. Breaking bread with these motherfuckers, like building their civilization up to some shit to where they can send their kids to college. They can send their kids to open up businesses in other fucked up neighborhoods, nigga. When are we gonna wake the fuck up? I don't spend my money outside my people unless I have to, bruh. 9 times out of 10 I have to, because there are not that many black-owned businesses that's thriving self-sufficiently. You got white businesses out here capping like black business, nigga. Watch yourself. You think you supporting black business, man? You supporting European culturism. I saw it. Another lesson, y'all. If we support each other, there ain't nothing we can accomplish, man. And I want to show y'all this. I want to go through this documentary. This is going to talk about the ancient kings and pharaohs and how all the Europeans and the Spaniards got to know where the fuck they was going and how they did what they did. We give them too much credit, y'all. They ain't do that shit on their own. So without further ado, I'ma bring the motherfucking man, courtesy of Home Team History on YouTube. Check them out, man. They got a lot of extensive knowledge on your history and things like that. But I want to run through this with this shit because this shit is some accurate information that you need to listen to. All right, here we go. I'm starting it.
African history and world history for several years, I began to notice a trend. It struck me that many civilizations across the globe made use of African men as enslaved individuals or conscripted soldiers. There were, however, also other uses, though few, outside of this range. In some cases, these civilizations would use African men as the very backbone of their power projection. I find this to be very interesting because it seems as though no other group of people have been so involved in other civilizations outside of their own.
We always been like that, man. Right now in America, that's why this shit pertains to the American black man in America. We always jumping in everybody fight but our own.
Like black men have. So today, I wanted to speak about the history of black men's participation in helping to build other civilizations.
Like I said, this is Home Team History, courtesy of YouTube.
Of African history, culture, and worldview.
Shout out to him for this.
Afrigraphics is available for resources on African history if you need it. Also, if you like this channel, you can support this content on patreon.com.
He got all his links on there. Y'all go support
There's
that
a new
shit,
social media platform dedicated to educating and uplifting our people. No longer do we have to be censored for speaking our truth. Our Black Truth is Black owned and operated, and a place where you can post your businesses and even monetize your content.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful what he said he doing for the brother and sister, man, who want to join this thing. Y'all listening to this shit, go to YouTube and check these people out. These people are good people, man. You want to learn about your history and stuff like that, man. So, I'm going to go ahead, enough introduction with him and his website. I'm about to let y'all know the truth. He about to tell y'all the truth.
I wanted to briefly discuss how they built their own great empires and civilization.
They lied to you. They made you think you needed a license.
Yeah, they putting commercials and shit, but don't worry about it. The knowledge is still going to be there, bruh. Knowledge still going to be there. Here we go.
One of the greatest conqueror kings in Africa was Sunni Ali, who founded the largest Western Sudanese state in West Africa, called the Songhai Empire. He was even known to have built a great navy to secure the Niger River. In southern Africa, the great Shangamire Dombo consolidated his power by defeating other kingdoms, destroying capitals and absorbing other local Shogun peoples to build the Razvi Empire in Zimbabwe. He constantly defeated all his African foes, and even prompted the Portuguese to leave the plateau altogether. In Sudan, King Payanki of Kush and his Kushite forces created the first...
I know y'all heard about Kush. Alright, peep game.
Great empire outside of Egypt on the African continent. These are just a few African states established by Africa.
They wasn't called king, they was called Pharaoh.
Pharaoh create, if you will.
Bianchi.
So it's important to keep all that history in mind.
They try to talk about some king shit, trying to take away our shit, man.
In other
Fuck all that. These niggas is
ancient
pharaohs,
times.
nigga.
The Persians were known as a powerful military force, and they established an enormous empire. But everyone in their ranks were not ethnically Persian. Most expansionist empires.
And they tell you how strong. I saw a movie where they was showing how the Persians were strong as shit. But like he said, they was actually using niggas. They was using niggas, bruh.
And enlisted the aid of other peoples to increase their number and capability. Due to reputation or proximity, the Persians no doubt enlisted African men. In ancient times, the region of Nubia established a world-renowned reputation as excellent archers. The Egyptians called one section of Nubia the land of the bow, and much later, the Arabs would refer to them as the pupil smiters. I think it's amazing because when we think of archery, we don't really associate it with African history at all.
Who else in North America you think that they associate archery with? Who you think? Race of people you think they associate archery with? That was us, man. We always been in America, but that's neither here nor there. Listen to the rest of the shit, y'all.
But it seems as though the ancient world knew that Nubians were one, if not the best archers in the known world, and the Persians seemed to make use of them as hired mercenaries in their armies. Surprisingly enough, the movie 300 did portray black men's involvement as
that's what I was saying, 300
power. As we all know, some directors aren't as concerned with historical accuracy.
See?
But
I just said that shit. This is the first time I'm hearing it like y'all, bro.
Transaction in ancient times, the principal way in which black men contributed to the growth and consolidation of other civilizations was through conscription. In this context, largely meaning enslaved soldier. Before we get into that specific function, it's important to understand that not every black soldier in a non-African empire was a slave. This was not an absolute fact, and there are
They was not all slaves. They were there to help the motherfuckers because they was just like how they is in America. When you give these motherfuckers an acting job or a music thing, and you give them that bread, they turn their back on the black community. We always fucking had that.
Lines, especially as concerns our 21st century idea of an enslaved man or a free man. So we have to be cautious with our assumptions.
Like they say, man, like they say, there's nothing new under the sun. Anything you've seen, motherfucker, that shit been done 1,000 times over. Nigga, you ain't doing nothing.
When we see these terms, But in general, most of the African men that I would be discussing were conscripted soldiers. One of the earliest uses of conscripted soldiers was by Muslim armies. Even before the Arabs swept across North Africa, black soldiers were present in their armies.
And the reason why black soldiers was present in the Muslim armies, because they were slaves. They used to cut the, I'm gonna watch my language. They used to cut the privacies off. Them soldiers probably didn't even have no privacies. They cut them nut deep. So they can do what they do with the army and maintain their harems and shit, so they wouldn't put none of that African thing on them. And they do it to this day.
One of the earliest mentions of an individual black soldier was a man named Washi. Washi lived.
That's why black people worship Islam. It's through the slave master. That's why people worship Christianity. It's through the slave master. That's why we speak English. It's through the slave master. French, slave master. Spanish, slave master.
During the time of Muhammad, and it was said that he distinguished himself in battle, especially during the capture of Mecca. Now, it's important to understand that black soldiers were always used in Islamic armies even before the 9th century, but they did not become supreme, if you will, until about this time. For example, under the Umayyad dynasty, the first emir of Cordoba in Spain, Abd al-Rahman I, who came to the throne in 756, was known to have kept a large personal guard of black troops. He founded the Muslim dynasty that ruled a large portion of Spain.
We got sisters out here that'll kick about 4 or 5 niggas' ass. A sister will kick about 4 or 5 motherfucking niggas' ass.
For nearly 3 centuries, and all his successors used black soldiers, especially to maintain power. When the 9th century arose, the face of the so-called Moors began to change fairly quickly. Ahmad Tulin, who came to power in 884.
See, I didn't want to say that word, Moors, but that's kind of like I was saying, the motherfuckers who showed them how to do shit. But I'm gonna let him say it.
The first independent ruler of Muslim Egypt began to rely heavily on black soldiers, most of which who came from Sudan, many of them Nubian. Upon his death, he said to have possessed 24,000 so-called white soldiers and 45,000 black soldiers. In essence, his army consisted of black men. His son was protected by 1,000 black soldiers alone. One chronicler had this to say: wearing black cloaks and black turbans so that a watcher could fancy them to be a black sea spreading over the face of the earth because of the blackness of their color and of their garments. With the glitter of their shields, of the chasing on their swords, and of the helmets under their turbans, they made a really splendid sight.
We was God all through the universe, my nigga. Let me tell you something, man. I understand that whole paragraph what that man just read. And that was from Benjamin Lewis. He paraphrased this guy named Benjamin Lewis. And that whole paragraph described me. My nigga, I'm God, nigga. When I walk in the room, if I walk in the room with you, anybody that's listening, you gonna look at the God. You gonna stare at him. That's the kind of presence. That's what kind of presence the Moors had. Don't count them as being weak people. It's a different time. You know, shit just went the way they went, but I'm gonna let you keep listening.
So it would seem as though the 9th century really ushered in the power of black soldiers, giving Moorish armies, mostly under Amazigh leadership, its distinction. In the 10th and 11th centuries, the Fatimid army was a very powerful military force. The Fatimids are believed to have been founded by a dynasty of Arab origin in the 10th century. Most scholars are able to divide the Fatimid ranks into 3 divisions, categories called Al-Masrika, the Easterners, Al-Maghariba, The Westerners
Yo,
and
get y'all
South
pencil
Sudan
papers out,
were
man.
blacks.
Y'all need to be listening to
The
be
black Fatimid
researching,
soldiers
man.
were considered by some to be the most faithful
need to be
supporters of the
listening,
Fatimid
man.
dynasty and were major players in the history of the Fatimid Caliphate. Even medieval authors who consistently
Unplugged
expressed
from the
negative
Matrix, man.
views on the black soldiers still acknowledge their significance. Now, granted, some can make the argument that this doesn't necessarily count as it concerns our topic, because these Muslim empires such as the Fatimids and others were still technically on African soil, and it would only be natural that African participation further south be inevitable. I think that's a fair argument. But one surprising way that black men were used in an expansion outside of Africa is the Spanish domination of.
You know the motherfuckers ain't want to fuck with that, man. You see how that man said that they was on their own land, and even though they was showing dominance on the battlefield, they still couldn't get their motherfucking props, bruh. Isn't that like today? Because I could be on the job working hard as a motherfucker. I still never get my props. I got to train the motherfucker that ain't even motherfucking my people. I got to train him to be the motherfucking manager when they should have just gave it to me, nigga. I had that happen to me like twice. Okay, but I digress. Now we're going to talk about the Spanish incursion
of the Americas. Scholars acknowledge them as the black conquistadors. Wherever Spaniards set foot in the Americas as members of conquest companies, they were accompanied by black conquistadors. Black conquistadors participated in the conquest and pacification of the Americas as early as the 16th century. In many cases, they were considered an invaluable resource. According to the sources, there were entire contingents of black conquistadors who participated in the conquest of the Americas.
And when I went to school in North Carolina, I learned about Roanoke, and I learned about Croton and all of that stuff like that. You know, if you understand what I'm talking about. Like I said, this conquistadors, the Spanish conquistadors wasn't by themselves. Do you understand? If you look at some of these state flags, you will see a Moor in the flag. You read some of the text, or you go deep and you research, you will see some of the Moors within this thing. The history books is lying to you. Like even George Washington, when he crossed the Potomac, whatever Potomac, I think that's what it is. If I may be right, I don't know everything. But it was a nigga on the boat. But
most black conquistadors were enslaved, but upon their service, they were granted freedom and even pensions. In other words, modern Latin American countries were founded in part by black men. The broader cultural context to the Spanish use of black fighters in the conquest and subsequent accounts of their roles is the Spanish perception of Africans as natural warriors. This perception is deeply rooted in Iberian and African history, going back to the role played by black slaves in Muslim armies of North Africa and the Middle East during the medieval phase of the trade in sub-Saharan Africans, and to the black experience of the Reconquista as armed auxiliaries on both sides of the conflict. I find it absolutely incredible that the same strategy Muslims used to establish some of their civilizations, the Spaniards also used to establish theirs in their...
it was a fucking playbook. And everybody is blaming like the white man invented fucking slavery and all that shit, bro. Y'all giving the motherfucking devil too much motherfucking power. He's a cunning motherfucker in this motherfucker Matrix, but he ain't that goddamn smart. I'm not gonna give him that much. Most of the motherfuckers believe in white Jesus, so I discredit them all day. So they be having that cross and shit, and then some of their people burn the cross. I don't know what they doing. You know what I'm saying? It's like a fucking oxymoron or something. Y'all burning something that ain't even fucking real. But I digress. Here we go.
Americas. The use of black men to reinforce other civilizations, as we can see, stems from a very long tradition, one that is barely recognized or acknowledged. Another striking revelation is how some African men helped build empires and kingdoms in India. Malik Ambar perhaps being the most well-known. African men held positions as guards, generals, and even administrators.
Now he's saying all that, but in India, the dark Indians are called the Untouchables. Go ahead and research that shit. Research that shit, family. They're called the Untouchables, man. Those people, man. Them some racist motherfuckers. And I'm not saying racist to where they like the American Anglo-Saxon and shit like that. Now, they just don't like your motherfucking ass, nigga. I ain't talking about they'll stop you from a job and all that. Nigga, they'll pop your ass, nigga, if they could. They don't like you. They watch TV. They watch these stupid rap videos and shit like that. They read these magazines and shit. They watch YouTube. They watch Facebook. They watch Instagram. And they looking at all the dumb shit. So they judge us on the dumb shit. All right. So let me,
Black men's position in India did have some duality because even though they served in various subservient positions, they also built and maintained their own, like they did in the Bengal region and others. And of course, it would be a crime not to mention how the enslavement of black people in general in America significantly enhanced the speed in which this country became a superpower. And this goes for some other nations as well.
And we built every fucking thing. Y'all heard the story of John Henry building the railroad, right? And then you hear the story about the Chinese building the railroads, right? Bro, they was racing the black man and couldn't even keep up. History is telling a lie about the black man, man. We some powerful beings, man. I'm 46 years old, man. I feel it look like I'm fucking 17-year-old with gray hair, nigga. I run circles around motherfuckers my age, bro. They can't keep up. Maybe like 1% of them. I don't take diabetes medicine. I'm not on high blood pressure medicine. I'm not on any psychotics. I don't do any hard fucking drugs. I don't smoke crack. I don't sniff cocaine. I drink a little bit. I smoke a little weed, but that's it. But
the reason why this history is so unique is because we don't see other groups of people either being recruited or conscripted on this scale, on top of being present in so many.
You would never get an Italian to fight for Africa. You would never get a French to fight for Africa, world scale. You would never get an Iranian to fight for any place in Africa, world scale, or anybody melanated, world scale. I mean, not like the dark Iranians or shit like that. I'm talking about the light. I'm talking about like even like Brazil, not the dark Brazil, the light Brazil. Them motherfuckers. Brazil go through it too. Brazil go through it. Colombia go through it. That's why I said the language of your slave master, the Spanish. That's a slave master tongue. That shit come from Spain. You understand? That's why that's just 100, man. Even the fucking English, man. The French, man. You know. People think that's cute and all that shit, but it ain't cute, man, because that's some deep shit why you speak that. Just think about that shit. Think about why you speak English. It'll depress you.
Regions across the globe. The extension of the black arm, if you will, to assist in the establishment of states in nearly every continent is a history that deserves so much more time and attention. I think it's time for our history books and popular culture as a whole to reflect it.
And then Texas, like I said, want to come out with that shit where they want to teach Texas history and differently and I'm telling y'all all the history books that's printed in America, all the information comes from Texas. You understand? So it's time to let this history be in there like that.
Agency of these black men and not use them as anecdotal references when convenient. They need to be included as part of the histories in full. Regardless, I'm here to do that work as best I can. Anyway, I believe this history is useful to us in the diaspora, not as a utility for pride, but a reminder that we can build for ourselves and not put ourselves in a position to repeat this age-old tradition.
Facts! Facts! That's what the show was all about tonight. We're not going to keep repeating that shit, keep making these motherfuckers rich while we stay at the bottom. Let that sit with y'all. Y'all wanna still stay at the bottom? Or y'all wanna go to the top and deal with each other? Fuck Juneteenth. Man, they didn't go ahead and give us some money, man. They passing laws to protect people, to help people. We need help, man. We got black babies in the orphanages, man. We got family members on crack, man. We need rehabilitation centers worldwide, bruh. We need to get our people off that shit, bruh. If America want to keep bringing that shit in, let them niggas keep sniffing that fentanyl, nigga. Let's break free from that shit, nigga. Babies, let's stop drinking that fucking cough syrup, man. Y'all heard of cirrhosis of the liver? Plus you making motherfuckers rich because those are pharmaceutical companies that make that. See what I'm saying? By building other civilizations? Bro, it's a lot of shit. I gotta change. As a collective, we can do it. We can do it. It's doable, bro. Yeah, I'm back. Yo, they try to cut my live. I'm too real for radio, man. I love it. What they say? Oh, God don't like ugly. And that was very fucking ugly. They can't stop my sermon, baby. When I feel like giving it to you, I'ma give it to you. You can chop me up, you can delay my process, you can make my music and my words faster than my motion. Fuck you, motherfucker, man. I'ma educate my people, man. I ain't killing nobody. I ain't hurting nobody. It's my freaking duty to be the kind of mind I am on the internet. It's called responsibility. I ain't 46 years old with a whole bunch of fat asses all on my channel, nigga. I ain't got no bunch of capping ass shit, man, that try to get kids to do stupid shit, nigga. My shit is to inspire people to be creative. For my people to be creative. Jeez. This ain't no Hollywood shit. This is my shit for real, man. Hey, man. I love y'all. Y'all be good. Say peace, Aggie.